Alright, so I decided to check about some teasers that I've been missing on a bit. Decided to do some for these three. There's a fourth one actually, but that one's pretty long, so we got all of these in. Because we're saving your boy Bataille for last. This one, so look. Get into the base. This basically is a series of teaser for Brazil, Central America, and Bataille. Might as well do some of this shit. Anyways, we have 3 stooges. No, 4. I got Andre and Tia Nunez, Takio, Gnomes de Mello. I'm definitely butchering these names. Brazilian, Spanish, whatever the fuck. It's not exactly great, so I apologize in advance. Even though I already said it, my bad about that. Kind of rush into this shit. And I have Blaise Montero and Jose Antonio Flores de Cunha up here in Despotis. This particular portrait. Anyways, he will be in the northwest federal territory. I think he's gonna be the neutral. Goes Montero would be the federal territory of the northeast, which loses this part to Melo. Then Jose Antonio of the federal territory of the southeast. So it's basically it's all been split up, so pretty interesting for a collapse of Brazil. Anyways, let's read this here. Once Brazil has been reunified by the forces of the Allied for the alliance of a new Brazil, ruins of the tentacles movement that supported in the Intentona, many believe that the emergency dictatorial powers given to these petty dictators would be eventually dissipated, and Brazil could finally breathe as one. Leading many to Brazil that, in all legal terms, was fully unified constitutionally. These were just subversions to the great United States of Brazil, yet as movement became increasingly restricted and vital after each of its country, we don't wonder if there was some country to be had at all. Or not. Because you got basically the whole thing that gets split over here. With the neutral territory over here, the borders on them all. 7 neutral ground for all 3 of them. So I'm kind of curious to see how exactly this would play out. Let me just see if this means there was actually something that could be done, like maybe one can unify, or maybe there's like something else can happen. Whatever, but it looks pretty interesting. Nothing really much to go on, just will kind of like collapse Brazil, except not really. It's more or less divided, united but not united. It disunited. Anyways, next we have Central America. For Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. So we'll start up with Guatemala with Manuel Maria Ornella Cartelos. Originally, Guatemala was a backwards little polity where very few could read, even less could write. Even fewer benefited from the system, was a liberal dictatorship controlled by the country under Manuel Estrada Gabriela. The huge revolt took many parts of the country he ever recalled. No one lost, however, as negotiations ended and free and fair election began elected that year after. The disaster struck, however, very quickly as the standard by the power army and speeding quickly assassinated the president-elect. Once again, the country found itself under profound and divisive conflict, preserved the intent of thousands of deaths. After a grim period of violence, the peasant-dominated local armies, usually with multiple different names under one banner, took over the capital. A quickly new election for made with Silvio Ortiz Riva being made president. The country then began a radical process of reform as a society was organized from the bottom up. The UFC properly reformed, where society was being violent seaside. The boons quickly given to the populace at large, however. Socialists in the island could not live at peace and thus began to receive small-scale invasions from neighboring countries along with ridiculous amounts of border disputes. However, with the coming of the First World War, the United States had focused instead on land-leasing arms and snows for the year. Leaving Central America to advise that this meeting Guatemala could breathe a little more. With time, the socialists continued to develop into a healthy and thriving democracy, multiplied by socialist Germany against the U.S. intervention. However, by 1930, a split had begun to form as to whether Guatemala should be the forefront unifying Central America, the Socialist Federal Republic. This split weakened already the hegemony of socialist political parties and unions at the 1933 elections. The country found itself the first liberal government in the past 2 or so decades. Due to the necessary alliances with Federation de Sociedades Obreras, however, the liberal government was much more akin to the progressive one. However, indeed, much of the country saw slow reform and bringing in as the revolution favored the past. And all the relations of the races of the U.S. These are called deeply arrayed socialist parties outside the efforts zone. Many began saying that there was a great conspiracy taking place. When next election in 1937 will be marked by the return of unfairness, of students forcing people to vote against their will, among other abuses of power, whereas the government does indeed deny it. It's up to whether or not Guatemala will remain a social power for much longer, so yeah. Seems like won't be socialism no longer. Maybe you could go radical or vanguard. Maybe reactionary. Or despotist. Or authoritarian. And considering talking about unification, there might be like some sort of unification events for all these. It would be interesting to see exactly how that would work. Anyways, we have La Conspiración. Pretty bad divas. Let's see, Division 1 org. It really sucks. The whisper going around below program that the president actually conspiracy to overthrow socialist beacon. Whilst obviously the whole government kind of claims it's not true, there's been several strange moves going around Guatemala, moving troop garrisons disappearing and men going to the main force and never show up again. Overall, for this period yet to be seen, so yeah, seems like this stuff. For a potential coup or something. Or subversion of democracy or something. But interesting. Pretty cool. A socialist democracy. A lot of left-wing support for all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I guess. Actually, also, I've been one of those equal, most socially developed, and one of the most popular across Central America after years of struggling for our independence. The land quest leave us alone over a decade ago when the country has been a beautiful flower since. Now the middle not entirely naive, the Guatemalan people are ready to defend the socialist democracy to the death. I get the feeling that's going to change. Should something change about it? Anyways, now we got Honduras with Jose Angel Zuniga. Fuerte. I'm butchering these names, I apologize. Honduras went through the 19th and 20th centuries as a quaint state. Central America prospering developed with the help of the UFC investment in the country. Not all was well, however. If you cannot see the upcoming cars of the banana cross for being polite and fun guy, the local government increasingly brought more Americans into to overtake the Navy industry, and the country seemed to lose the luster it had in the previous years. With the great upset Honduran democracy occurred in the 1932 elections, where by 30,000 votes, the Honduran liberals were once again given the halls of power. This was always met with intense anger and frustration, with thousands marching the street and riots overtaking the country. However, as the years went on, the people's cries died down and the quiet grumbling continued. Whilst the possibility of war, intimidation, and corruption, the liberal government has been utterly disastrous. People didn't see any economic possibility in the band players and still riding with plight. Follow raccoons have slowly gained popularity over the concerned integrations and negotiations of the UFC have been at their worst in Honduran history. Despite the stiff upper lip of the liberals, the poor shows are doing absolutely awful, and it's possible to maintain the same path any longer. So yeah. So it's probably gonna be like, oh, children of the sun. They talk about Fall Guys, so that's curious to see what the children of the sun are gonna do, and it's probably very, very interesting to say at least. Maybe bring out socialism as well. So yeah, democracy won't last long for Honduras, so maybe to do something with unification or some shit. It's talk about the unification over there. I kind of curious to see exactly what else, who else could unify Central America. And as that would go, so that would be interesting. Next we have uncontrollable immigration. That's mostly pretty good for a quick pop in, but the population will increase reactionary support, low political power, yeah, that's pretty bad. Huge number of immigrants from across the world have made Honduras their home, and many other folks that lived here for the past generation feel intense anxiety about the possible loss of jobs and overpopulation issues. There's also potentially bad side effects from additional extreme groups and habits to become even more strong, so yeah. I feel like there could be a coup going on. And based on this, there's like Vanguard or Count Revisionists, Popular Socialists, and reactionary forces will come into play. But yeah, just see how they will do stuff along with these depots as well, see how that changes. Because the hostility is pretty fucking horrible construction speed, holy shit. The UFC absolutely hate us, and the only reason to have a coup government is because the current agreement is too lucrative. Yet the feeling grows among the poor under that the pain are going to be much worse very soon if they don't do anything about the increasing amount of abuse done by the UFC and their buddies. The UFC being the United Fruit Companies, in case you don't know, were pretty popular around this time. And Banana Blight, also some bad consumer goods. So that's like a whooping 9% consumer goods. Along with shit stability as well. There's been a new pest among the boy in Nicaragua known as banana blight. A violent fungus that eats away from the banana crops with terrifying speed. You found out you can also others that do type of banana becoming even more ardent, so yeah. Seems like. I wonder if they'll be able to address that with this, maybe. Either well, who knows. Maximilian Honduras Martinez. I vaguely remember him. In Hawaii 4, I saw him basically use the fascist from America. But over here, he's right-wing authoritarian, so not much of a fascist. At least for what I've seen right now. I don't know. Let me just read this real quick. So it's a tough nation with a long history, so they having gone through decades of unstable oligarchy and stratification. According to human defeating against Nicaragua in 1907, tens of thousands of indigenous Salvadorans rose up in the west of the country to gain bargaining petition for better rights and stop this local destruction of their rights, or to end the brutal massacre led by Honduras Martinez. To America's best escaped tin pot dictator, having destroyed the position of the United Fruit Company and other oligarchs in the country, also had been steered toward a new national project when marked by strange alliances with the Theosophical Society, harsh despotism, corporate economics. The sword in the mighty than the pen, who knows? From looks on that, it seems like accelerationist with the says that teasers speaker. Curious to see how likely that would play out anyway. Be Theo's physical influence. Accelerationist, yeah. So I feel like that's some like weird religious movement that can coup the government or take over. Which I'm very curious to see how that's gonna play out. So we have is it gonna be similar to the Cause of Cali? Which reminds me, I probably might redo that playthrough. So I mean, that we didn't actually, go beyond India. And I would like to go beyond that as well, so drop the Superman for that, but another time. Here's brutal history. Yeah, some PP lost the PP very bad for everyone. El Salvador, the nation still suffering the worst massacres. In 1931, Fernando Martí was shot and killed by an army corps, with him coming down the entire Salvadoran socialist movement. The massacre that should kill tens of thousands of Salvadorans, only prevent school in Salvadoran society. It constantly protested the rest in the nation towards a bright future, at least according to Martinez. Maybe it was bright. Beyond like who's in charge anyway. Anyways, Carlos Jose Salazar. Everyone but Central America, the story of Nicaragua begins and ends with U.S. coups. Jose Santos and his little pitch was a very popular man back in 1901. His anti-American policy and victories in 1907. That's cough. Made him a national hero with the canal debacle. When pushed by the U.S. on allowing them to build a canal through the country, Zelensky said no, emphatically no. Until they were followed with a barefaced accepted the coup led by landlords General Watson to were quickly deposed by Zella. But struggling 9-year-old and facing intervention by U.S. back in emergency in 1907 with the courts, he's there too, trying to despise United Fruit Companies out of the country. When he died in 1919, things took a turn for the worse. Eager to reassert their dominance, the U.S. intervened again, and without Zella's leadership, Nicaragua faltered. The mind of America behind him, the conservative Carlos Jose Salazar took control, and he and his mercenaries have held on to this day. But successive depressions back home have left the U.S. unable to defend the Republic, with Sandoz rebellion continuing across the countryside. They must still win with the hand of the National Guard as there's a move of brazen attempts to his life during peace talks, no less. Nicaragua really finds itself swamped in strife, and with the A's and Donald on his deathbed, well, things might about to get very messy down that manic way. So yeah, he's like shit as fuck in Nicaragua. I'm very interested to see how bad shit can be fucked in Nicaragua. Based on that, it seems like possible collapse or coups. Something interesting bound to happen somewhere. Anyways, Guardian Ascella, that is fucking holy shit. He is the adopted countryside, that is also pretty fucking shit in that administration. Goddamn. Nicaragua is not doing very good, to say the least. Anyway, EDSN, the army of Augusto Cesar, or Caesar, whichever one, has been utterly dominating our countryside, ensuring that we have very little control over territory outside of Managua. This has meant that our policies are equally impossible to outside the capital. In that administration, our president is ill, weak, and senile. This is great to take the very situation of the Nicaraguan politics. He finds himself in an increasingly radicalized youth and ever more old and ignorant establishment. Indeed. It seems like shit's gonna happen over here in Central America. I'm very interested to see how that would play out. I don't know what that I would play first. Maybe El Salvador, Guatemala, or Nicaragua, depending on which one. Oh, those three I'm most interested in. Honduras, interesting, but not interesting in those. Curious to see how that was gonna go. So, hopefully it's gonna be quite interesting. So, for our last event, we have Bataille's little thing. The line stumbles and is castrated. That's Andre Breton. What's it? I think this is Bataille's little circle of friends. It is un cadavere. And it's up here. But wanted to see me, Antonin? Andre Breton's tired voice filled the upper office of the Fair de Monde, speaking of the restless night spent organizing new government changes. In the aftermath of the blank, countless issues had sprung up and been put down, and Breton, as the new second-in-command, are working to no end to make sure the governmental shake-up went as smoothly and beneficially to the PSF as possible. Yes, my friend, I did, Atto answered, back solemnly. Breton frowned his brow a bit. This is mind racing as the moves and start of the meeting. Atto continued. I'm afraid I'm willing to ask you of your resignation, effective immediately. Your office will be filled and issued in the carry shovel, sorry. So you do not worry about that, Antonin. What the hell do you mean by this? Britain gasped. Didn't think about what's happening. This work being undone. All you discard all we've done together. All the work the PSF has done. Otto had grimaced and continued with a forced professionalism. You ought to believe that the chairman of the PSF, your president, will be Georges Bataille. Have you gone completely mad, Antonin? Talk to me as a friend. What's going on? Why? You're throwing our life's work away and handing over to that pervert? It's all looked at him with his deep blue eyes, the silence behind him. Andre, I'm sorry. It has to be done, my friend. I love you, but I can't stand by and watch you crown yourself some pope of surrealism, acting like some petty despot. Andre Brent sat shell shocked with his head in his hand, wondering where it all went wrong. Everything he'd worked for, his art, his politics, it was all disappearing in a blink of an eye. Andre, I'm truly sorry it has come to this. Brent stood up and wiped the moisture from his eyes as he walked towards the railing overlooking this all day. He dwelled on what to do, but an eternity thinking of where it would go from here. As time went on, he became indifferent to the whole situation. Being so hardened after a while, he realized the solution at hand. A line by many careers so many years ago, he sighed and let his lips spit out a word. Antonin? Yes, Andre? We're going to see M. Archie. And with that, Andre Breton, rejected by the world, in turn rejected the world itself. His wings waxed and melted. So what Bataille made some moves against Andre Breton. And Le Patron made him named chairman. The PSF, which I think is the main party of the futurist movement of France. As you can see. We're going to see how Bataille is going to be in the rework. Considering that current Bataille is big fucking degenerate. I'm going to see if he's going to be as much of a degenerate here. I think it will be, but not quite. Or at least in different ways. Very interesting to see. So yeah. These are all the teasers we got over here. Pretty interesting stuff. Aside for the French rework, pretty cool seeing what's going on in Central America. And some new stuff in Brazil. Let's see what else they got in store, but yeah. With that, this is your boy the Mad Artist, and there's gonna be one other teaser that's gonna involve Hungary. A big old one that's gonna get its own video for itself because it's quite long. So yeah. Until then, I see you guys later. Bye.